Had a great weekend. Great weekend. My kids have discovered an Indian holiday called Rakhi Day. Rakhi Day is when you send your brother a blessed Rakhi, which is a handmade embroidered piece of string that you tie on the wrist for blessings. And it originated with Lord Krishna. And it's a wonderful way to acknowledge familial ties, literally, because you have to tie it on. And so they watched Mira the Detective, and they discovered this holiday called Rakhi Day, and they've been making pipe cleaner Rakhis and trying to tie them on Leo. And the pipe cleaner Rakhis have rainbow colors and unicorns. For some reason, they're all yellow, and they have stars. And it's just the cutest thing you have ever seen in your life. And so just, I love my kids. If you're watching, I love you. Thanks for doing that. It's amazing how a Disney cartoon is introducing my children to the Indian culture. Who knew? Who knew? Thanks to Mira the Detective, they know what a samosa is. Now they know what Rakhi Day is. I feel safer in being myself at 41 than I did at 18. Okay. So as I'm aging, I'm getting better, like a really good wine, getting really good, right? Like a really good bottle of wine. I don't even drink, but anyway. So why? Because there's not inhibition anymore. There's not anxiety anymore. There's not insecurity anymore. You're more at home in your own skin. You're able to be with yourself, right? You're able to meet yourself. And most importantly of all, you're not trying to get rid of everything that you think is wrong with you. You're no longer seeking the approval of others, the acceptance of others. You're doing it purely because it's yours to do, right? And you know that because you wake up every morning excited. Every day throughout the day, you just can't believe how lucky you are and how grateful you are to have the life that you have. And when you go to bed at night, it's with a smile on your face, right? Because you know that you did that. Okay. So it's a settling into authenticity, right? And people don't recognize how important that is in terms of flow, abundance, and money and prosperity. Authenticity is huge, right? Look at TV shows, right? Talk show hosts. Every single season, right? When people used to watch TV, there was a talk show. Like those afternoon talk shows were the most popular shows. Why is it that certain people were able to be successful? Because they were being themselves, right? Because they were willing to be themselves. The more you're willing to be yourself, the more you're in your highest light, your highest vibration, your highest frequency, your highest alignment, and the more life comes to you. Okay. The more life comes to you, the more all that you need comes to you, right? We have to address individuals as individuals instead of collective groups. What's happening right now is that we are dismissing an entire group of people based on the actions of individuals. Okay. What we must do is highlight the behavior of these individuals and no longer paint an entire group of people with a brush. Okay, it's important that we begin to recognize that, yes, there are manifestations in reality that are operating inside of pain, that are operating inside of this false power, egoic power, and that are operating inside of fear. There are aspects that are doing that. But guess what? These are aspects of ourselves. This is where humanity is right now in its collective evolution. We are being shown what the pinnacle of egoic existence does. The pinnacle of egoic existence makes others wrong, makes itself better, okay? And this has happened throughout human history. So what we must do as a collective expression is, first of all, gather up our brothers and sisters who have experienced any form of abuse, hold them with tenderness, free them of any shame that there is around that, okay? And then once we've held them and loved them and supported them in returning to the love that they are, We then have to turn and face these parts of ourselves that as a spiritual community, we have avoided dealing with. Okay? We have to turn and face them. We have to turn and face them, because in turning and facing them, we set ourselves free and we set the world free. It's like we're in season 5 of the sitcom of our lives, and the writers are just making up crazy shit now just to keep the storyline interesting and to keep the viewers watching. It's what it feels like. You know, when you get to that point in your favorite TV show where you're about into season 5 and all of a sudden it's just like crazy stuff starts to happen? I feel like we're in season 5. I feel like this is season 5 of our TV show. And the writers in the room are just like, yeah, okay, COVID, masks, school, work. Let's throw a global pandemic in there, right? And this is how life unfolds. This is how life unfolds, right? We're in season 5 of the sitcom of our lives. How about right now we just deal with what we're experiencing in this moment as it relates to what's happening in our lives? How about that? Okay? How about that? And how about we just make one simple, peaceful choice at a time? That's it. That's all. That's it. COVID Calm Radio. That's all it is. It's working. It's working. It's working. Because so many of you are able to remain connected to your center, remain connected to who you are, and to operate from that place. And to operate from that place. And so it's always about, in this moment, what is the next most peaceful choice? In this moment, what is the next most peaceful choice? Because the more we advocate on behalf of that peace, the more we can see clearly and the more we can respond instead of react. The more we can respond instead of react. That's it. With those fixed ways of being and those opinions and those preferences, the only thing that we create in our experience is suffering. And so at some point we have to realize that we're flowing down this ultra light beam, and this ultra light beam is taking us to wherever it needs to take us. And ultimately the origin of that beam is God, and the end of that beam is God. So I want you today, in the beginning of this new month, to begin to meet yourself with peace, to begin to meet yourself with compassion, to be able to meet yourself with tenderness and with gentleness, because it is the acceptance of life the way that it is that provides you access to the oneness that always resided within you. It is the acceptance of life the way that it is, not the way that we want it to be, not the way that we need it to be, not the way that we hope and dream it would be, but it is the way that it is that we begin to lay this greater foundation within us of peace, of peace, of peace. And that is what we want. Because the individual who is able to remember peace in the midst of whatever is going on is the most empowered, successful, alive, alert person there is. So we're shifting our relationship with ourselves. In shifting our relationship with ourselves, we're shifting our relationship with our lives. This is how it works. We're shifting how we feel inside of ourselves, and we're shifting our relationship with our lives. And this is how the greater, I don't want to say miracle, because the greater unfolding of what's happening right now happens. This is how it happens. Okay. So our purpose in gathering together here is to return to calm. Why? Because everybody's tripping. Everybody is tripping right now. We have to at some point get to a place of peace and calm within ourselves. We have to return to that feeling of peace and calm within. And that's important, because that feeling of peace and calm is our natural state of being. In the midst of that feeling of peace and calm, we're able to respond. We're able to be available. We're not in fight or flight. We're not all of a sudden flooding our immune system, right? We're not in some way downgrading our immunity. We're able to be free of stress and overwhelm and upset, and we're able to navigate life. So that's where Call to Calm is so powerful, because it allows us to consciously return to peace over and over again. Once you realize that you are a creator, you are no longer a victim of anything. Once you remember that you are a creator, you are no longer a victim. And what I'm here to say to you is that none of you are victims. You've just forgotten that you have the ability to create, and that your ability to create is a part of your journey. It's a part of the plan of your life. So this is where we are in our evolution, and I'm honored to share this with you. I can't wait.